Let's face it, when it comes to protecting your little castle, revolvers are superb. They're highly reliable, and if they ever misfire, you only need to keep pulling the trigger. But not all revolvers are created equal, especially because of their calibers. And with so many of them, picking the right one can be a pain, especially if you're just starting out. In this video, we'll talk about what we believe are the best revolver calibers for home defense. Stick around, because you're going to want to see which ones make the cut. Number 10, 22 Magnum. The 22 Magnum shouldn't be on this list because it's a rifle cartridge, but there are countless revolvers chambered in this caliber, which is why we included it. So, is it lethal? You bet. Heck, if the 22 LR is lethal, then the 22 Magnum, being a bit more powerful, certainly is lethal. A 45 grain Hornady Critical Defense 22 Magnum bullet fired from a 1.8-inch barrel has a velocity of 1,000 FPS and a muzzle energy of 100 foot-pounds. Hornady's 45 grain Flex Tip 22 mag round clocks in at around 1,269 FPS from a 4-inch barreled revolver, hitting with just about 161 foot-pounds of energy. Might not seem like much compared to other calibers on this list, but it's still nothing to scoff at. Think about it this way. A 180-pound crossbow can shoot a 300 grain arrow at 400 FPS, giving you 107 foot-pounds of energy. Sure, that arrow's gonna punch deep because of momentum, but a 40 grain bullet from a 22 Magnum, that's not something you'd want to be on the receiving end of either. Number 9, 410 bore. Like the 22 Magnum, the 410 bore shouldn't be on this list, because it's a shotgun caliber. But there are more than a handful of revolvers on the market chambered in 410 bore /45 Colt, increasing the 410 bore's popularity among revolver aficionados. The 410 bore is known for its ease of handling, making it a less intimidating choice for new shooters while still offering the potential for effective home defense with the right loads. Specifically designed rounds such as buckshot or defensive discs can enhance the 410's capability to stop a threat. Its versatility shows in revolver models like the Taurus Judge and Smith & Wesson Governor. Either can chamber both 410 shotgun shells and 45 Colt cartridges, offering users a range of defensive options. While it may lack the powerful ballistics of its larger shotgun caliber siblings like the 12 gauge or 20 gauge, the 410 bore is effective. Hornady's Critical Defense 410 packs a punch with a combo of two 35 caliber round balls and a bigger FTX expanding slug right on top. From 7 yards out, it will hit a man-sized target with everything it's got. Number 8, 32 H&R Magnum. It's a good time to talk about the 32 H&R Magnum because Lipsy's is doing a limited run of their exclusive Smith & Wesson Ultimate Carry. A little 6-shot J-frame chambered for that caliber. And if you didn't know, any revolver in .327 Federal Magnum will safely chamber and shoot 32 H&R Magnum as well. Taurus, Ruger, and Charter Arms all have revolvers in .327 Federal Magnum. Typical 32 H&R Magnum bullet weights range from 85 to 100 grains. Buffalo Bore's heavy 32 H&R Magnum uses a 100 grain bullet, which, when fired from a 3-inch Ruger SP101, can achieve a velocity of 1,187 FPS, generating a muzzle energy of 313 foot-pounds, which puts it on par with standard pressure 9mm loads fired from a 5-inch barrel. Now granted, H&R Magnum ammo is expensive and doesn't make a lot of sense to buy, especially when the .327 Federal Magnum outclasses it in almost every way. But if you're recoil shy, it does kick a bit less than the .327 Federal Magnum, making it a viable option for seniors. Number 7. 38 Special. We're not seeing a ton ton of new revolvers made for the .38 Special these days, but it's still a top pick for revolver purists. Why? Because back in 1972, the FBI rolled out their beefed-up standard issue .38 Special Plus P load, famously dubbed the FBI load. It combined a heavier powder charge with a 158-grain lead semi-wad cutter hollow point that expands on impact at the velocities they would get from the revolvers they carried. And if it doesn't expand, the sharp wad cutter shoulder will still punch a wide hole. That FBI load turned out to be pretty effective in actual shootouts, working like a charm out of 2 to 4 inch barrels. But then there was another push for a .38 Special that packed even more punch for police use, leading to the creation of the Plus P Plus .38 Special by Federal and Winchester. It was only for law enforcement, made for their more robust .38 Special and .357 Magnum revolvers because of its higher pressure levels. But these days, we all have access to the most powerful .38 Special loads on the market. Buffalo Bore's version of the FBI load uses the same 158-grain lead semi-wad cutter hollow point. Out of a 4-inch barreled Smith & Wesson mountain gun, it can reach 1,162 FPS, generating 474 foot-pounds of energy and outclassing even the hottest 9mm loads. Number 6, .327 Federal Magnum. Federal Premium Ammunition rolled out the .327 Federal Magnum as a super magnum version of the .32 H&R Magnum, stretching its case by about 1/8 of an inch and beefing up the bottom part of its case. They also made the walls thicker and used some fancy heat treating and metal magic. Because of that, the .327 Federal can handle way more pressure, up to 45,000 psi, more than double what its parent cartridge could take. In practical terms, the .327 Federal Magnum fans love for its impressive balance of power and manageable recoil, making it an excellent choice for home defense. It's only slightly weaker than the .357 Magnum, but with the advantage of less recoil and more rounds in the cylinder. From a 4.2-inch revolver, Federal's 100-grain JSP achieves a velocity of 1,500 FPS, resulting in a muzzle energy of approximately 500 foot-pounds. American Eagle's 100-grain JSP load has an average velocity of 1,551 FPS, equating to 534 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. Pretty powerful for a little .31 caliber bullet, huh? Number 5, .44 Special. The .44 Special holds a unique place in the realm of firearm cartridges, offering a compelling blend of power and manageability. The caliber's effectiveness, paired with lower recoil compared to the .44 Magnum, makes it a preferred choice for shooters needing potent stopping power without the harsh kick. Among the best factory loads for this venerable round, we have Hornady's 165-grain FTX Critical Defense, notable for its impressive velocity and moderate recoil, making it an excellent choice for self-defense. It can reach velocities of up to 980 FPS from a 4-inch barreled revolver and deliver 351 foot-pounds of energy. Federal's American Eagle 200-grain semi-wad cutter hollow point combines penetration and expansion. Its velocity of 870 FPS and 336 foot-pounds of muzzle energy from a 4-inch barrel puts it in the same ballpark, perfect for home defense. But if you need something hotter, Buffalo Bore's 190-grain lead semi-wad cutter hollow point delivers a hefty 510 foot-pounds of muzzle energy at a velocity of 1,100 FPS, on par with factory 10mm loads fired from a 4-inch semi-auto. Number 4, .357 Magnum. The legendary Elmer Keith had a lot of props for the early development of the .357 Magnum. He wanted to push the .38 Special to its limits, cranking up the pressure to see how much it could take. He was able to do all this thanks to some seriously heavy-duty revolvers of his day, like the Smith & Wesson 3844 Outdoorsman and heavy-duty models. When it comes to the ammo, The .357 Magnum offers a range of options. For instance, the Corbon 125 grain JHP achieves a velocity of 1,496 FPS from a 4-inch model 686, delivering 621 foot-pounds of force at the muzzle. Similarly, Federal's Hot 125 grain JHP achieves a velocity of 1,511 FPS with a muzzle energy of about 634 foot-pounds. These ballistic figures make the .357 Magnum one of the best revolver calibers for home defense. The wide availability of guns chambered in this caliber offers flexibility, and revolvers in .357 Magnum are renowned for their durability, reliability, and ease of use. The ability to also fire 38 special rounds provides added versatility, allowing for a broader range of use cases, from home defense to hunting up to deer-sized game. Number 3, .41 Magnum. The .41 Magnum, developed in the early 1960s, was intended to fill a niche between the .357 Magnum and the .44 Magnum, offering a blend of power suitable for both law enforcement and hunting. Conceived by Elmer Keith, Bill Jordan, and others, the cartridge was designed to be a more manageable .44 Magnum. But despite its ballistic capabilities, the .41 Magnum fell by the wayside because, it was considered too powerful for police use. Good thing it found a following among handgun hunters who appreciated its flat trajectory and slightly lighter recoil compared to the .44 Magnum, making it effective for hunting medium to large game. Today, the .41 Magnum maintains a Colt-like status among a segment of shooters who prize it for its balance of power and manageability. Although not as popular as the .357 or .44 Magnums, modern firearm manufacturers like Smith & Wesson and Ruger continue to produce revolvers chambered in this caliber, and ammunition manufacturers offer a range of loads, from defense-oriented to hunting specifications. Out of a 4-inch barreled revolver, Buffalo Bore's 170 grain round can reach 1,551 FPS and 908 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, while Speer's 210 grain Gold Dot offers 1,268 FPS and 750 foot-pounds. Number 2, .45 Colt. The .45 Colt, with a lineage tracing back to 1872, has solidified its place in the annals of firearm history as a versatile and powerful cartridge. Originally designed for the Colt single-action Army revolver, this cartridge was the standard-issue firearm ammunition for the U.S. Army for nearly 2 decades. Its initial black powder loads were formidable, propelling a 255 grain bullet to speeds of around 1,050 FPS, although this proved too powerful for the average soldier, leading to adjustments in powder loads for reduced recoil and velocity. In the modern era, the .45 Colt has seen a renaissance, with ammo manufacturers offering a wide range of loads suitable for everything from target shooting to big game hunting. For instance, Corbon's DPXP 225 grain load achieves a velocity of 1,210 FPS with a muzzle energy of 732 foot-pounds, while Buffalo Bore's Heavy Plus P Outdoorsman 325 grain load reaches speeds of 1,325 SPS and delivers a whopping 1,267 foot-pounds of energy. Firearms chambered in .45 Colt are available in a variety of platforms. Revolvers in .454 Casull and .460 Smith & Wesson Magnum will all safely chamber and shoot .45 Colt as well. Hand loaders love the .45 Colt for its versatility, as it can be loaded to all sorts of power levels, from cowboy action shooting loads to high-pressure rounds suitable for big game. Number 1, .44 Magnum. Remember the .44 Special I talked about earlier? Elmer Keith pushed the boundaries of what that cartridge could do, leading to the birth of the .44 Magnum. It was designed to offer unparalleled power for hunting and self-defense, surpassing the capabilities of its predecessor. For this reason, you can safely shoot .44 Special in any .44 Magnum revolver. The .44 Magnum is revered not just because of Clint Eastwood, but also because of its versatility. Modern ammunition advancements have breathed new life into this revolver cartridge, with manufacturers like Federal and again, Buffalo Bore, offering heavy hitters that maximize the caliber's potential. Buffalo Bore's 270-grain ammunition achieves a velocity of 1,460 FPS and delivers a substantial 1,261 foot-pounds of muzzle energy when fired from a Ruger Red Hawk with a 5.5-inch barrel. Meanwhile, Federal Hydra Shock 240-grain round, when discharged from a Smith & Wesson 629 with a 4-inch barrel, provides a velocity of 1,367 FPS and 996 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. This revolver caliber delivers outstanding performance, especially if you're trying to defend your home from bears. Anything smaller, the .44 Magnum is overkill.